Everybody is talking about AI, but let's be honest, how many companies are actually getting it right? Today, we're going to cut through all that hype and look at what it really takes to build an organization that's truly powered by AI. And we're going to use this, surprisingly powerful mindset from ancient philosophy to do it. So let's start clearing away some of the noise.
So let me just ask you this right out of the gate. Is your company just doing AI for show? Are you just racking up flashy pilot projects and chatbots, but nothing is really changing in the business? It's a super common trap, right? It's all driven by that fear of missing out. But there is a much better way to find the right path.
The whole framework for this explainer is a concept called niti-niti. It basically means not this, not that. It's this really cool method of finding the truth by first figuring out and clearing away all the things that are not the truth. And when you apply that to AI, crossing off all the nonsense fast is, well, it's the surest way to find what actually works.
All right, so our first not this is confusing an AI strategy with just simple project management. This is the spot where so many organizations stumble right out of the gate. This slide just shows the contrast perfectly. Over on the left, you see the mistake pretty much everyone makes. You parachute in a project manager, they make some Gantt charts, they track tasks. But on the right, that's the solution. You appoint an AI strategy officer who's focused on the big picture. I'm talking shifting the entire business model, rewiring workflows, and setting up a clear vision. See, AI isn't just a series of tasks. It's a fundamental leadership problem. And this quote just absolutely nails it. Success isn't about managing some side project. No, it's about senior leaders stepping up, taking charge, redesigning the core processes, and really embedding AI into the very fabric of the company. Without that kind of top-down vision, you just get what I call dashboard theater. Looks busy, but nothing's really happening.
Okay, let's move on to our next not this, and you'll see how this builds. We're talking about creating these isolated AI experiments, these little islands that never connect to each other and never deliver any real, widespread value.
And the numbers here are pretty stark. According to BCG, only 26% of companies have what it takes to actually move their AI proofs of concept into production where they can, generate real value. That is a huge failure rate. And it's often because of this island approach. This really gets right to the heart of the problem. When every single business unit is off spinning up its own separate experiment, you just get chaos. The islands multiply, sure, but the company's overall efficiency and capability, it just stays flat. You're basically just running in place, but now with way more cost and complexity. You can see the breakdown right here. These AI islands lead to duplicate spending, bots that nobody maintains, and a total security nightmare. A shared platform, though, that provides the foundation you need to scale. It handles all the important stuff like identity, monitoring, and it creates reusable components so you're not constantly reinventing the wheel. You've got to kill the islands, and you've got to do it early. Okay, so we've covered strategy and structure. Now for the third not this, ignoring all the messy realities of your company culture, your data, and the actual team you need to make this stuff work. A lot of leaders think banning consumer AI tools is the responsible thing to do. It's not. It just drives all that usage underground where you can't see it. The smarter play is to meet the demand head-on. Give people sanctioned enterprise-grade tools that have proper security and logging. Authorize the right LLM, that's a large language model, for the right job, and, probably most importantly, educate your people on how to use them safely. And then there's data. Look, generative AI will happily amplify your internal chaos if your data is a mess. So the crucial point here is you have to do the boring work. You got to establish a clear taxonomy, use data contracts, create those golden sources of truth, and for goodness sake, archive old stale content. Because if you feed rot to your AI, you're going to get rot back out. Simple as that. Finally, let's talk about your team. You can't just appoint some loyal yes man to run your AI initiative. It won't work. You need a specialized pod of people who are focused on outcomes. That means a product lead who cares about KPIs, real business results, not just cool demos. You need engineers who live and breathe data pipelines, and you absolutely need a domain subject matter expert. That's someone who actually knows what a correct answer looks like for your specific business. Okay, so we've used our neti-neti framework to clear away all the common mistakes. Now let's look at what's left, the right path. And this is all about shifting your thinking from these one-off projects to building a sustainable, scalable, digital workforce. A real transformation doesn't start with writing code. It starts with context. This maturity model here shows you the path.
First, you baseline everything and assess your gaps. Then you score each function in your business to prioritize where to even begin. Only then do you start defining outcomes, baking in governance, planning your rollout, and intentionally designing your culture. It's a structured journey, because let's face it, you can't scale what you haven't mapped out.
Now, when you build this way, with a real strategy, a solid platform, and a mature approach, the impact isn't just some theoretical thing. It's immediate, and it is measurable. So let's look at the actual return on investment.
And these numbers, they show you the real-world impact. An RFP assistant can save nearly $500,000 a year in labor costs. A knowledge agent that just helps people find information internally, that can free up almost $3 million in value. An estimation assistant, that can preserve $4 million in margin just by preventing project overruns. This is the kind of impact we're talking about with a digital workforce.
Here's another fantastic example. A product marketing agent can totally automate the creation of things like solution briefs and value propositions. One company that did this cut their content production time by 60%. They reduced their reliance on outside design help by half, and they saw a $200,000 boost in their pipeline velocity. It's amazing.
And here's the real kicker. Building all of those high-impact digital agents that we just talked about, the total cost for all of them is less than hiring 2 junior employees. The efficiency and the value proposition are, well, they're just incredible.
So, what does this all really boil down to? It's a fundamental shift in how you think. It's about seeing AI not as just another piece of software you buy, but as a genuine part of your team. A teammate. And this is the fundamental choice every single leader has to make right now. If you treat AI like a typical IT project, it's going to get stuck in a silo and it will fail. But if you treat it as a new member of your workforce, with a real role, with accountability, with measurable outcomes, it will become a powerful engine for your company's growth.
And we'll just end on this thought. Anybody with a credit card can go buy access to an AI model. That's the easy part. But you can't buy the strategy. You can't buy the right structure or the culture or those context-aware systems that you need to make it truly effective. That is something you have to build piece by piece. That is AI maturity.